Hey, good afternoon, everybody. This is Tony Fapiano coming to you from the studios at Guilford Community Television. I have a very, very special guest today. I have with me Pat Todd, who is associated with an organization called Action to Cure Kidney Cancer. And we're going to find out a little bit more about the organization itself, what their purpose is, what they have accomplished, and what they hope to accomplish in the future. We're also going to talk about how Pat got involved with the organization to begin with. And again, the organization is Action to Cure Kidney Cancer. So, Pat, again, thank you so much for being here today, taking time out of your schedule. I really appreciate it.
My pleasure, Tony.
And I'm going to ask you a lot of hard questions today. Is that okay?
Oh, yeah.
Pat and I are both Rotarians, so we're good friends, and I see her on a weekly basis. And when I heard that you were involved with a number of fundraisers for the benefit of the organization that we're going to talk about, I thought it was important for you to be here today and to be on GCTV and let folks at home know what the organization's all about, how you're involved, and maybe how they might get involved. Because that would be a great thing. So let's start by you describing what is the organization Action to Cure Kidney Cancer. I have to keep looking at my notes so I don't mess it up. I don't want to mess it up. Action to Cure Kidney Cancer.
Right.
.org.
.org.
Okay.
It's Action. www.action. Oh, actually, www.
See, you messed up.
ACKC.org. Action to Cure Kidney Cancer. And what we do is by Action to direct research funding to kidney cancer. It's been left out over the years. Breast cancer and prostate cancer get the lion's share of research funding from Congress through the Department of Defense.
Through the Department of Defense?
The Department of Defense.
Huh.
Ever since the days of Agent Orange, cancer research projects have been funded through the Department of Defense. And kidney cancer has been on the rise over the years. Anywhere between 60 and 65,000 people a year would be diagnosed with kidney cancer. Usually twice as many men as women, but the number of women is rising. We don't know why. And veterans, great number of veterans, more so like 4 or 5 times more than the general population. And blacks and Hispanics more than
let me interrupt you.
Rising.
I mean, some of those things would lead me to think that there is some association with something that causes the kidney cancer in a specific group. In other words, if that group were studied in greater detail, perhaps there's some continuity or some consistency from person to person that would lead to an analysis of what causes kidney cancer.
You might think so, but there's no answer. Smoking has been suggested as one of the causes, but for instance, in the case of my husband, who died of, we were married for 45 years, and he passed away from kidney cancer in 2004. And he smoked for 10 years, from the age of 18 to the age of 27, 28. And he stopped smoking abruptly when the Surgeon General's report came out. And but that was, and there was no history of any kind of cancer in either one of our families. So we were really caught off guard with that one.
Okay, so let's talk about him. Let's analyze what he experienced. Okay, when did he first think that something needed to be looked into
something
more
was
clearly?
A backache that really wasn't all that bad. Wasn't enough to send him to a doctor. Actually, he went for acupuncture.
How old was he at that point?
64, 60, going on 65. And, I forgot to mention that. In the statistics about kidney cancer, it's not uncommon for men in their 60s to be diagnosed with kidney cancer, more so than other decades.
And prior to that, he had no symptoms. There was never a question that
picture of health.
He wasn't feeling well? Or?
No, picture of health, very athletic. I don't even remember his ever having any health problems, except he had a chronic sinus problem, and that was the problem. Because in the end, When it was finally diagnosed as a tumor on his kidney, the kidney tumor, the cancerous tumor, was up against his adrenaline glands, and his symptoms were upper respiratory. It sort of like exaggerated his sinus problem and the cough, just a terrible cough. So we had, all kinds of x-rays and scans of his upper respiratory
And
tract.
those symptoms existed prior to the official diagnosis?
Well, the sinus was lifelong, it was chronic, but not that cough, not the anemia, not the high blood pressure. That was all new.
That all came, yeah.
That all came later. So when he finally, let's take a good, what's happening here? And it was kidney cancer. And then they removed the tumor and the kidney and all the lymph nodes around it, and he felt great. For the first time in a couple years, he really felt great.
What did he do for a living? Was there any association between a job and
No.
stress, or?
Oh, probably might have been stress.
What did he do?
He was a finance man. He was the controller of Seagram's. He was the controller of American Standard. He was the president of the American Standard subsidiary in Europe, Ideal Standard Europe.
So he had a
Top jobs.
somewhat of a high-pressure job.
High-pressure jobs. But he was a musician. So he was a man who had a high-pressure job, but then he played the saxophone, the flute, and the clarinet. He was always writing music, played the piano. He knew how to relax. And he was also very interested in playing squash and tennis. And he knew how to relax. Yeah.
Okay, so now the backache came along, and
Yeah, it was, come and go. It was a come and go backache.
all right, so what?
He did not have blood in his urine, which you'll read symptoms of kidney cancer. I actually looked up, you get on the web and you look up symptoms. Oh, he doesn't have blood in his urine. It wouldn't be his kidneys.
Is his story, is that an isolated story, or is that something that you hear time after time after time from other people with kidney cancer?
No, I have heard that one from others, but not many. Everybody's symptoms are different. So you have an alert doctor who says, let's find out what's really going on here.
And how do they find that out? What's the diagnosis?
They don't know. They just don't know. They take a scan and they see a tumor on your kidney or in your kidney. It could be anywhere in the kidney area. And that's the thing, too. Wherever the tumor is, you would have different
Now, there's different
symptoms.
kinds of scans. I mean, there's a
CAT
CAT
scan.
scan, there's an
I meant
MRI,
a
there's
CAT.
a PET scan.
A CAT scan.
A CAT scan. And
Yeah.
a CAT scan would be sufficient to diagnose a tumor in the kidney?
Well,
you're not a doctor, I
I'm not a
understand.
doctor. And then once again, go to www.ackc.org, and you'll find out everything you want to know about kidney cancer. You'll
Okay.
find out all about the drugs that are on trials.
But typically
You'll
it
find out-
is some form of a scan that,
it has to be an
that would be
abdominal
used to diagnose
scan.
it?
Oh, yeah.
Okay.
There
And-
are researchers who are testing for urinalysis or blood tests, but generally, you see the tumor on a scan.
Yeah, or a combination of things, I would think.
Right.
Something shows up here, you might want to take another type of diagnosis.
Right.
Is that what happened with your husband?
Well, I mean, it just went on and on. There's something wrong, don't know what's wrong. Go to the doctor, get some pills for your cough, get some pills for the sinus, take some, over the counter, whatever. And then eventually we ended up at a doctor for infectious diseases because, he had these terrible night sweats, 106-degree temperature. And she said, this sounds like cancer. And then he got the scan and that was it. So then the tumor was removed, the kidney was removed, he felt great.
He felt good for how long?
Months. And then when it came back, we knew right away because he reached for a handkerchief. So, oh no, the sinus is back. Oh dear. Then he had a high dose interleukin 2, which is
Which is what?
there is no chemo, there are drugs that are in trial now. But interleukin, right now I can't tell you what it is. High-dose interleukin is very, very dangerous. You have to be healthy, strong to subject yourself to it, and your blood pressure falls to practically zero. It's
Really?
very, very dangerous. It's done in an intensive care setting, and Yeah.
And it's I would
It's
think, a
wicked.
treatment of a last resort.
Well, at that time, remember this was 11, 12 years ago, and it's much better today. Dr. Such at Yale New Haven and, oh, what is that other doctor's name? Dr. Zola. They're perfecting this interleukin, the high-dose interleukin at Yale, of all places, right here in New Haven. So
Yeah.
there's something happening.
All right. Just back up for a minute. I'm surprised to hear that kidney cancer funding is taking a back seat. Now you say 66,000 nationally a year. I mean, that sounds like a lot to me.
It is a lot. I, again, get the absolute correct figures off our website, but it is a lot of people. That's the diagnosis. And but it's not as many as breast cancer and prostate cancer. I mean, you have to be realistic. But the numbers are rising, and so we're going to Washington. Actually, we're going next week.
Who's we?
Action to Cure Kidney Cancer.
Okay.
And there are going to be 17 of us from all over the country, from Minnesota, Kansas, Maryland, Florida, Connecticut, New York,
All right, so you're going to
Pennsylvania.
Washington to do what?
We're going to go to lobby our congressmen and women and have meetings with them next Monday, the 16th and the 17th of March. And we're going to get them and encourage them to sign the Dear Colleague letter that's been being circulated by
What's it called?
Senator Schumer. Dear Colleague, COLEAGUE.
These are the sponsors, the names of the sponsors.
And the Dear Colleague letter, Senator Schumer writes the letter, and we have 2 senators and 2 representatives that circulate these Dear Colleague letters to get the other senators and representatives to sign it, so that when the Appropriations Committee meets, we have the Dear Colleague letter. These people want kidney cancer research funded. Please fund kidney cancer research. Please assign.
All right, so if
15
I'm
million
a
or
senator,
whatever.
I'm going to say why
Oh.
and how. And not, I mean, why should I do this? Where does the money come from? And where does the money go? Who do you want us to fund?
The funding, the money is there. It is to be appropriated
At the
among
Department
the
of Defense,
different,
you're saying?
yes, to
Okay.
different cancers. And kidney cancer would like a little more of the pie.
Now, are you asking for a specific amount of money to be
15 million.
15 million annually?
Yeah.
Annually. And where would the money go?
Research labs. Research
Now, you
labs
can't be
all
the-
over
this-
the country. The National Institute of Health and the National Cancer Institute.
Okay. Now, the Action to Cure Kidney Cancer organization can't be the only group that has an interest in getting funding available for kidney cancer research. There must be other groups. Are they also lobbying their legislators in Washington? Are you out there alone?
I think we're out there alone.
Do you?
Yeah, there are a lot of
There must be other organizations.
raising money for kidney cancer, but I can't say that they're raising money and running to Washington to get money for research. Maybe they are. I can't say.
Okay. Now, when you get to Washington, what will you do?
What will we do? We will go to the Senate office building and the Hart office building and the Russell office building and meet with the either the health aide or the senator or the representative and show them all the statistics, show them our PowerPoint program. We don't take long, 15, 20 minutes.
Yeah, you don't
We're
have.
not
They don't
gonna-
give you much time.
That's all right. We don't waste a second. And we're going to
Now you say you have a PowerPoint.
present our case.
I don't know how you would even do. I've been to Washington many times with the Realtors Group from Connecticut and nationally, to lobby our senators and our congressmen, and you meet in their office. I mean,
on an iPad.
do it on an iPad.
Oh yeah,
Yeah.
it's great. They sit down at the table. You've got all these people around. You just turn on your
Now,
iPad.
will you give them advance publications and statistics and so forth, so they have some knowledge of what you're there to talk about?
Oh, definitely. First of all, the Dear Colleague letter. And second of all, the fact that I'm having the appointment, I send them information. And we're also going to be having a film made, a documentary made of our efforts.
Okay.
Now actually, I have to tell you about
Now, you
this.
personally will probably meet with Blumenthal and Murphy and Rosa DeLauro because those are your elected Washington officials.
Right.
You personally.
Right. I've
And others will
contacted
meet with
them.
their own
That's
as
right.
constituents of a different state.
Right.
Okay, so.
And I'm personally going to meet Senator Markey from Massachusetts because my son's coming with us, my oldest son, and he's the photographer. He's making the documentary.
Okay.
Robert's a filmmaker and teaches film at Emerson College. So,
Okay. All right, so let's get back to the organization. How did it start?
It started for us when we got a flyer in the mail from the Kidney Cancer Association, the KCA, which is another organization. They do not raise funds for kidney cancer research. But they had this lecture in New York City by Dr. Janice Dutcher, and an oncologist who very well known in the area of kidney cancer and kidney cancer research. And so we went, because by that time Ken had had his diagnosis, and here's a researcher, an oncologist, somebody who's going to tell us, because when that diagnosis came in, you know, you don't know what
You're
to
open
do.
to anything.
Whatever. Papaya juice, yeah, you do the whole thing. And we were sitting at the lecture, and there were about 30 people in the room. Most of them were people who had, like Ken, had a kidney removed, or they were an incidental finding. That's the name of this book I have here. An incidental finding meaning that your doctor suggested you might have a scan. Let's see if there's something going on, and he finds the tumor early, and the tumor's removed. You're fine.
You're okay.
You're okay. You can
Survival
live with
rate?
very high.
All
You
right.
can live with one kidney, no problem. So we're sitting there listening to all these people tell their stories to Dr. Dutcher, and then she was very patient and very sympathetic to all of them, and then they were all finished, and then she turned to the blackboard, and she had a United States on the blackboard, and these kidney cancer research labs were closing, and she marked them across the country. It was very alarming, and they were closing for lack of funding. And there was a gentleman sitting 4 or 5 seats over with his wife, and he passed around a piece of paper. If you would like to do anything about this, please sign. And many of us signed, and that group who signed.
And that's the operative word, action.
Action. And that was Jay Bitcower, and he started Action to Cure Kidney Cancer that day.
So it started at that meeting, and you were present when it began.
That meeting, and our names were on the list, and we then went
Now,
in.
who was in the room?
Fred Atkins and Alan David.
Not by name, but I mean, what? These were all cancer survivors, or all cancer?
All people with kidney cancer or their caregivers.
Okay.
And we met at different apartments around New York City, and ended up mostly meeting at Jay's place, and figuring out how to get congressional funding for kidney cancer research. And that was really how it started.
Okay, so now you signed a piece of paper that committed you to do something,
Right.
to some sort of action. What action did you take?
Well, Ken and I would go to the meetings, and he helped out get the 501c3.
Okay.
And
You are a 501c3.
yes,
Okay.
yes.
Which is a hard designation to get from IRS, because
Yeah.
you have to really prove that the money that comes through the organization is well spent.
Absolutely, and every penny went to research.
Yeah.
And then, you know, Ken passed away not long after that. And a few years before then, maybe 6 years before, I had been playing 2 pianos with Brenda Casey, and we had been giving concerts. And then after,
I should point out to our audience, Pat Todd is the music director, band leader of Tuxedo Junction, which on a regular basis can be seen at Bill's Seafood in Westbrook on the Singing Bridge. I call it the Groaning Bridge now since they changed it.
Yeah,
It
it
used to
doesn't
sing
sing.
when you went over, now it
Right.
groans. Anyway, the Singing Bridge in Westbrook, Bill's Seafood, and
Yeah, every Monday night.
Every
for
Monday
night.
night you're there. So you are a band leader of Tuxedo Junction, and the band plays obviously at other things
Right.
as well.
For 19 years we've been there. Okay.
All right, so you're a musician.
I'm a
We've
musician.
established that.
Okay. I
Are you
forgot
any
to
good?
tell you. No. And Brenda is the piano player in my band. She's excellent. And she and I would play two pianos, which is a lot of fun. And we were doing it for fun, and then we gave a concert, and we gave another concert for the American Red Cross because Ken had been
You
giving...
did it as a fundraising benefit.
No, we just did it for fun.
For fun.
And for the Red Cross, we did it in honor of Phil Benson, who had been leading the Red Cross blood drives for years, and my husband had given gallons of blood. And that was the first real symptom, was when he was turned away from the blood drive because of anemia out of the blue. So anyway, after Ken died, we had film night, and we showed three of my son's films at the Madison Cinema as a fundraiser for Action to Cure Kidney Cancer. And that was the first fundraiser. And
I remember that. Actually, I bought 2 tickets. I couldn't make it that
That's
night.
a
I gave them
shame.
to Donald and his wife.
those films were great. One of them was a film about my band. That was funny. And then the following year, Brenda and I put a 2-piano concert together to raise money for Action to Cure Kidney Cancer. And now we've done that for 10 years, either a film festival or a piano concert. And this year we're doing
And those
it
you
again.
are doing as fundraisers. They are fun, but they're fundraisers.
Raisers, and everyone's been so generous. And we are, this year we're giving the concert in May, on May 16th and May 17th. www.ackc.org, and you will find out when and where the concert is.
I know when and where.
Yeah, it's at
You
my
mentioned
house.
the 2 in Guilford on May 16th and 17th,
At my
but you're
house.
also in Essex on May 3rd.
We're doing a practice concert at Essex Meadows.
Okay.
And then we're going...
Why is that quiet?
Well, it's a practice concert. It's before our concert. It's
Okay.
our rehearsal concert.
But it's
And-
also a fundraiser.
No, it's at Essex Meadows. They have 2 pianos on their stage and built-in
It's a rehearsal.
audience. It's a rehearsal.
Okay.
And then we're going off
But the
to-
real deal is May 16th and 17th in Guilford. Where?
Yes, my house.
And that is?
Am I telling that?
Yeah.
18 Fair
Somebody
Street.
wants to go to it. They have to know where they're going and how much it costs.
No. They go online on www.ackc.org and get all the details.
All the information is there.
Yeah.
Okay.
And then,
But it is in Guilford. We know that much.
yes, at the Foundry. And then...
I know where it is.
Yeah. And then Philadelphia.
On June 5th.
Yes,
Okay.
I think June 5th. It's not certain June 5th.
Now, that's with another member of the organization?
Yes, actually in Philadelphia, Brian Lewis is our executive director. Just this year we have an executive director. This is the very first time we've had an executive director. And he's a powerhouse. He has set up this conference in Washington, even though we've lobbied in Washington many times. And we've gone to NIH and we've gone to Fox Chase Cancer Center. Over the years, we've gone all over the place. And you might wonder, what do we do with the funds that we raise? We pay for a salary for a researcher, or we buy a piece of equipment, like down in Fox Chase Cancer Center in Philly. There's a piece of equipment in the research lab that they needed. We bought that. But right now we do
I
have
understand your husband was recognized on that piece of
there's a plaque with his name right on that piece of
And
equipment.
why is that?
Well, he had died relatively soon before that was donated, and we were trying to get them to speed up their research in case somebody else got kidney cancer and would benefit from what this would yield. But
And then on May 26th, you're moving to Raleigh?
June.
I mean, June 26th.
June
I'm sorry.
26th, definitely, at the Bosendorfer Hall in Raleigh at the Rogero Piano Store. That concert's on a Friday evening. Yes.
And again, a fundraiser.
That will be a fundraiser. We encourage music students, especially children who are taking piano lessons, to come free of charge. And
All right,
donations
well, this discussion
are
will not be on
requested.
NBC or ABC or CBS. So, what is important is the one in Guilford, because maybe somebody from Guilford is watching, and
I'd
it's
love for
May
you to
16th
come.
and 17th.
Saturday and a Sunday
But,
afternoon,
but
yes.
it's a secret location unless they go online.
The Foundry in Guilford, Unit 9, yes. Just check us out.
Okay.
It's
Now,
really fun. It's a fun
what happens at that concert? What do? You say it's 2 pianos.
Yes.
You and
Brenda Casey.
Brenda Casey.
And
Who is
and
Brenda
I,
Casey, besides being a member of your band?
She is
Tuxedo
the pianist
Junction?
in my band, and she's a longtime friend, and she's an excellent pianist.
Does she have some connection to a cancer survivor or victim?
She and Ken were great jazz musicians together.
Is that right?
Yes, and she's been very active in participating in this effort.
Okay, so what do you do at the concert? What?
Well, we talk about the joys of two piano playing, and we talk about the music that we're playing, which was written especially for two pianos. And there's a lot of humor associated with it. And we do play a Rachmaninoff work, and a Poulenc, and Milhaud, and Bennett.
Refreshments?
Oh, yes. Oh, yeah. Yummy.
Donations from
Yummy.
Seagram's?
No, Trader Joe's.
Do you get donations
No.
for that?
Now, I probably should try.
I'm just thinking, now your husband was a big corporate executive, really,
I
with a
don't,
couple of big companies. Did you
yeah.
ever reach out to see what you could get them to?
No,
buy
I
into
haven't
this?
done that. That's a good idea.
Yeah, your executive director should take Ken's association with whoever's left in those companies
Yeah, I'll work
and build
on
on that maybe.
Yeah.
Yeah. All right. So on May 16th and 17th, and then beyond, before in Essex, and after that in Philadelphia.
And then Raleigh, North Carolina.
And then you may also be
We're
hit the
headed
road. You'll
west.
be all over the country.
We're heading west to Kansas City, Wichita, Denver, we hope, Tucson, and San Bernardino.
Well, you know,
We're just going to go across the country.
I mean,
and play-
assuming that these are relatively successful fundraisers, I think even much more important is the awareness factor.
Actually, I don't expect to raise much money on these. These people don't know us from a cake of soap. This is purely for raising awareness of kidney cancer, early detection of kidney cancer, the need for kidney cancer funding for kidney cancer research, and to direct people to our website where you get all the information about kidney cancer.
And the website again is?
www.ackc.org.
Okay.
Thanks.
Now,
Tony.
also, this program, well, it won't be on ABC or CBS or
Well, it
whatever,
should
NBC. It will be on YouTube.
Great.
So you know, if you have people in Kansas City or Denver or San Bernardino, wherever you're going next, that you might want to give them, you know, a little bit of information about what you're trying to do locally, you can send them the link to the YouTube program that we're doing tonight.
Okay, fair enough.
All right.
I'll do
that. I mean, this is. I'm just somewhat curious as to why funding has dropped off for this type of cancer. And
I never said it dropped off. It just hasn't been elevated to the astounding figures that the others
but you
have. They're
said
in the
labs are
billions of
closing, so
dollars.
that would indicate there's less
Oh,
money to go
oh,
around.
I see what you mean.
Yeah.
That was 10, 12, that was 12, 13 years ago.
And we're talking
so-
about research labs now.
Yes,
Okay,
research
and-
labs. Listen, they follow the money. For instance, one researcher we were very tuned into, bladder cancer took over in his research because he got a grant.
There was more opportunity
That's
there.
right.
And
Where they follow the money. I mean, that's where it is.
Okay. But this, what I would think, people that are in this field are specialists. I mean, they deal primarily or strictly maybe with kidney research or kidney cancer treatments and diagnosis. I mean, those people don't also work on other things, do they?
I can't speak to that.
Yeah.
I don't know.
All right. All right. What else do you want to talk about? You have a lot of notes here, I see. Have
I wonder,
have we
did
covered
I,
a lot of your stuff here?
Gee, I hope so.
Why do you think men are twice as likely to
I haven't
come down with kids?
clue.
Being a man, I'm interested in that answer.
I know. Do you remember the first time I talked about this at
Rotary? Yeah.
Should I tell the listeners what I said?
Say it.
Well, I was a new member, and at the time there were very few women in the club. And I brought in Jay Bitkower from New York, our president, Jay is so knowledgeable about what's going on in the world of drugs and research in kidney cancer. And he came all the way to Guilford, and in my introduction to Jay, I said, when I first came to a meeting here at Guilford Rotary in October, my first impression was, look at all the men. And everyone laughed, and then I said, and they're just the right age. And you guys laughed even more.
There's a lot of white hair out there.
Yeah, and then I said, well, if I knew then what I know now, my husband wouldn't be buried at Alderbrook Cemetery, but he would be growing old with me. But
Yeah.
unfortunately, he got kidney cancer, and he was just the right age.
Well, I know you, and I know you fairly well now over the years that we've been in Rotary, and I'm happy that you are taking an active, proactive role in this. I mean, some people could experience what you experienced and just sort of fade away and just say, why me?
That's
Poor
right.
me. I don't
feel that
and
way.
then drop out.
And you might say, oh, I'm just going to move on with my life. But moving on, I joined Rotary, I joined Leeds Island Garden Club. I'm very busy, and I love to play the piano. What can I do? And of course, my band is all-consuming. It's so much fun, and it's a serious endeavor. But what can I do? Because I feel very strongly about the importance of early detection and the awareness of pay attention to changes. I mean, you've heard this before, the 7 signs of cancer and all that. But to my mind, the changes and the early detection awareness.
While you were describing your husband's experience, Ken's experience, you mentioned that he had always had a sinus condition. And then when the kidney was removed, the sinus condition subsided.
Oh,
and then it came back, and that was a second clue. So do you think that this sinus condition and the kidney cancer were maybe connected for years and years and years?
Oh, no. Who knows?
You drive
those
yourself
things.
crazy, right? Thinking
I
about
can't even
that?
think about that, no.
But have you thought about that?
But it was
That's
called,
what I thought about while you were
right,
telling us.
It was called the Todd sinus. I mean, he had it. When I was dating him, he had the Todd sinus. It was just one of those things.
But could it be that there was some
you never
minor
know.
association
You
back
never
then?
know. Never know.
Yeah.
No. But it's been a very interesting period of time to work with the people at Action to Cure Kidney Cancer. Everyone who's involved in that group has a different story to tell, and they're all working towards the same goal.
Now, you're a Rotarian now for 10 years or so, or whatever it is. More?
It's only 6.
6? And you're a past president.
Past president. You guys got
Have you
me.
gone to the board to look for some sort of funding from them? A donation? I mean, that's what we do. That's what Rotary does.
Maybe I'll do that too.
Or even the district.
Tony, you're full of ideas.
I mean,
What I should do is go to Rotary meetings all over the district and talk about this as well. Yes.
I mean, it seems to me that, the district seems to me would be a good place to get a bigger donation and greater awareness, if you will.
Right.
But, local clubs do this kind of stuff too.
Well,
I mean, you haven't put the arm on anybody.
No, I
surprised.
haven't I haven't put the touch on. No, I just play the piano. And,
I'm never giving you a job to sell real estate. You got to be more aggressive.
I'll take your advice.
All right, what else do you want to talk about that we have not covered?
Have we covered it all? I think so.
Website, again, one more time.
The website, www.ackc.org, and pay attention to changes.
Okay, and we do want to thank Donald Beckler, who is directing this.
Thank you so much, Donald.
And our buddy Sam. Sam, you still back there? You doing sound? All right, thank you. We appreciate everything. Donald, as you know, works with me on all of these programs. But Sam has been working pretty regularly with us as well. So we're happy that, as an intern, he's doing a great job here at GCTV. And we want to thank Shannon for reserving the night for us so we could do this.
And I want to thank you all. Thank you very much, Tony, for giving me this opportunity
to
spread the word.
I wish you all the luck on May 16th and 17th with the 2 concerts, the 2 piano concerts.
Well, now listen, I think everyone should know that only 60 people fit in my house
so space
at
is
a
limited.
time. 60, that's why I have 2, so that 120 people can hear the story. They don't hear anything about kidney cancer at my concerts. I mean, I'll just be honest with you. We have a very brief introduction about why we're there, but we talk about the music and the fun associated with the music. And the whole afternoon is geared to total pleasure.
Okay, so it's 60 each day, and space is limited. If somebody watching right now would like to be one of the 60 on either day, how do they do that?
Call me.
And how do they do that?
Should I give my phone number?
You should.
203-458-1310.
Okay, 458
I'm sorry.
1310.
203-458-1310.
Okay, 203 458 1310.
Make your reservations early.
Okay, and did you take a phone reservation? You don't need to, you don't sell tickets in advance or anything like that?
Oh yeah, it's all reserved in advance.
Oh, you do? Okay.
Oh yes. Yeah, there's no ticket.
Okay, and you've been doing this for a number of years now. How successful have they been in terms of attendance? Has the attendance grown on a year to year?
Oh yes, there's
People have a good
demand.
time, they come back?
There's a demand. When are you doing it again? When's the concert?
Oh, good.
Yeah, yeah,
That's good to hear.
yeah.
All right, and ticket, do you want to you'll mention how much tickets are? You can do that if you want to.
Well, it's $40, free for children, free for music students, and of course we take sponsors. If you want to be a sponsor, that would be wonderful.
What's the benefit of being a sponsor?
Oh, your name's in the program, and I say thank you 100 times. And,
Okay. Oh, that's good.
yes, and we do have wine and sodas and lovely desserts. And
I'd reach out to Seagram's, tell them what
I'll
happened.
have to do that. And you know, yeah, he was also
some
the
VO out there.
assistant controller at CBS too. I mean, he was around. And one year, let's see, I told you we did the films a couple years, and we do the piano concerts. And another year, we had let's see if I can remember how I worded this. We had an open house art 2-piano concert. I think that's how I billed it. And it was, I had just hung all my children's artwork all over the house. So I had numbers. Catherine Green helped me with this, and from the Green Gallery. And it was very serious. We had numbers and a listing, and you were looking at the artwork and who did it and when, and all over the house. You go top to bottom.
Yeah. You've been doing this for a while.
Yes.
10 years?
Yes.
Yeah, and what kind of money have you raised?
Well, about $8,000 a concert, and I match it.
You match it
Yeah.
out of your own pocket.
Yeah.
You
That's
give
my
a benefit
donation.
concert, and then
Then
you
I
and
match what you donate. Yeah.
So you've raised 100,000 plus.
Yeah.
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 Wow. Well, Pat, thank you for all this information. And again,
I think I've told you too much.
it's okay.
No,
That's what I do, you know. I try to get more out of you than.
no, it was great to have the opportunity. I know I'm repeating myself, but thanks, Tony.
Well, it's good that you repeat yourself, because rarely do people watch a program start to finish on GCTV.
Right.
So they'll watch a part of it today, and some tomorrow, and some at 2 in the morning, and so by repeating it, you're going to get the information out. But really
in
critical,
case.
May 16th, May 17th, advanced ticket sales only,
Right.
and they should contact you at 203-458-1310.
Right.
Okay. All right. Anything else?
I think
Donald,
we've
thank
got
you
it.
very much. Sam, thank you. And Pat, thank you. All the
Thank
luck in the
you,
world with
Tony.
this. And
Thank you.
do a good job in Washington.
Oh,
Love to
that's
see that money come.
the whole key.
All right, you got it. And with that, this is Tony Fapiano. Thank you for watching. Donald, you're still taping me. There we go. All right, that's it.